Hey guys, welcome back. So this video, I am going to show you how to prime MDF board for resin application. So what I have here are two 1/2 inch thick pieces of MDF board that I am going to design into two pieces of a geode, as you can see. And what I need to do is prime this wood so that first, it doesn't suck up the resin. And secondly, even though it's not on a live tree, the wood, and this goes for any type of wood, even the slices of wood that you could buy at the hobby store, it breathes the wood after it is cut. So you have to stop it from breathing. I know it sounds murderous, but this is what we need to do. So what I usually do is use this brand, Zinsser Prime Coat Primer and Sealer Interior Multi-Purpose Top Coat in 1 hour. So I get that at Home Depot. It is roughly $15 for a gallon. I mean, it'll last you for quite a long time. What I will do is I will paint the whole front, let it dry, paint it again, let it dry, paint it a third time, let it dry, flip it over, repeat. So basically, I'm going to just do a quick little video showing you that. Here we go. Okay, so what I like to use is your standard foam brush. And this lid is obstructing your view. And what I will do is you have to mix this up in the can before you use it, because it does separate when it sits. So I'll take some, knock it off on there, and just coat the whole thing. Now, if this was a canvas, I would sand in between layers with probably like a 400 grit sandpaper just to smooth it out. But since this is MDF and I'm going to have all kinds of stones and everything else on here, I don't necessarily need a really smooth surface, because you're not going to see it anyway. Even if you don't have stones, you're not going to see with the resin covering if this is streaky or not, or if there's a couple little tiny bumps. Now if you have a big bump for some reason, then obviously you have to sand it out, but for my project today, I do not have to. If you were going to sand, you would probably do best to get a sanding block. Just holding the sandpaper in your hand is very strenuous on your hand, especially for women. So I would not suggest just holding it. They sell sanding blocks at the hardware store where you can wrap the piece of sandpaper around the block and then you have something to hold it onto. So you're going to want to do the sides, the top, the back, everywhere. 3 coats. If you want to speed up the process of drying, you can try to use the heat gun. I find that, I put too much on here. I find that the heat gun makes the paint bubble, especially if you stay in one area too long. So I just let it dry normally. I put way too much on that one. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to do the sides and then come back. Okay, so next step is I need to figure out my design. And on this piece, I've decided that I'm going to be using a product called Epoxy Sculpt. Now, you saw me use this once before in my videos. It was the geode I made inside of the wood box. And I have a link for this on Amazon in my description below. It's on Amazon. I believe it is 20 something dollars. But they have a bigger bucket of it for 40, and then you get like triple the amount. So that is a better way to go if you have the funds to do it. If you want to buy this stuff. For me, I just couldn't do it. So I had to get the smaller set. But anyway, this works just like resin when it comes to mixing. Equal amounts of part A and part B need to be mixed together. And then I let it sit for about 5 minutes to let it start getting sticky. And then I will roll it out like a snake and use it to create borders in between my colors. So I'm going to mix them up with you really quick and put you guys on pause, let it sit for like 5 minutes, and then come back to show you how I put it on. So, equal sizes of A and B. And it's like putty, silly putty consistency. Now it says to wear gloves, so I'm going to put that on. And what happens with this is it dries and you can literally paint it. It dries hard. So you can paint it whatever color you want. You can add texture to it while it's still wet. I did that in my Geode in the box video. I used, and I don't know if I have, oh yeah, one of my subscribers sent me a box of odd things to use in videos. So in that video, I used, this is part of a hummingbird feeder, and I used this to make imprints in this clay stuff. We're going to call it clay, but it's not, it's putty, I guess. So I used it to make imprints in it. And then once it dried and I painted it, it really turned out really beautiful. And I may try to do that even on this one. So, equal parts. So I'm going to take a spoon, I guess. Last time I used, no, that's not going to work. Last time I used my scale. So you know what? Let me get my scale because I do need quite a bit of it. Okay, so I got my scale. And you don't have to be dead on. You can kind of eyeball it. But I like to be as accurate as I can, so I just use my scale. But take out 2 wads that are about the same size. So I have 9.92 ounces there. And .92, wow. That was good. So now you're going to take part A, part B, and you're just going to mush them together like this. It's not hard to do. My hands are bad. If I can do it, you can too. So you want to mix it together until it is one solid color. It's a little bit of a pain with the gloves on, but if you don't wear the gloves, there could be stuff in here, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's some kind of hardener in it, like resin, so That's why they want you to wear the gloves. So you're going to mix it together. I'm not going to make you watch this. And then when I'm done, I will be right back. Okay, so I have it all mixed. I'm going to take a little piece. And I'm going to roll it out into whatever diameter I need. You may want thick, thick borders. I do not. I want thinner. Just take your time. It gets a little, takes a little practice to get used to get it all the same diameter. And you'll get there though. See, like this piece right here, it's skinnier in the center. So what I'll do is pull it apart. It doesn't need to be exact because you're going to be pushing it down and forming your areas. So what you want to do is put it however you want it on your board. And this will adhere to the wood. And then it will definitely be permanent once you add your resin. We already know that. So you just want to shape it however you want it. Okay, and then what you would do is just make sure it's making full contact with that board. Give it a little tap, tap, tap. And then if you wanted to do something like an impression with it, you could just take whatever you have, a fork, whatever, or you can leave it just like this. And I'm just going to show you up close how cool this looks when you do an impression. When you do an impression. Okay? And in case you didn't see that video, I'm going to show you how beautiful it looks when you paint it. Here is my geode in a box that I had made. Look how beautiful, beautiful that impression looks. I painted it before I did the resin with a little bit of liquid leaf. And it is just really, really beautiful. All right, so possibilities are endless. It's linked below. And I'm going to get mine all squared away here and come back and we're going to start this geode. Okay guys, so my epoxy sculpt has dried. I'll show you. And I've decided the theme for this geode. I may be nuts, but I'm going to go for it. I am going to do an all black with a little bit of gold. I've never seen anybody do an all black geode. And you know me, I like to go for things that are new. And I just want to show you the next step. So I just painted the sides black with just acrylic paint. Any black acrylic paint will do. Now I'm going to be using this liquid leaf focus. And I'm literally going to take a brush I don't care about, dip it in, and start painting. This is very hard to do while holding the camera. Start painting. It doesn't matter if it gets on the board because I'm going to go over all of this and paint the whole insides of the inside of the barriers black. So you don't really need to be too fussy about this part. Now over here, remember we have some height on this barrier, so make sure you get right in there and cover that up. But look at that impression from that little cheap piece of plastic that I got in there. Isn't that not beautiful? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish painting all of these barriers. Then I'm going to take some black acrylic paint. In my case, I'm using Artist Loft. And I'm going to paint everything else that's white, black. But first I want to do this so I could cover up the mess I make while doing this. All right, so I'm going to do that, and to save time, I'm not going to make you watch. I will be right back. Okay, guys, here we go. Wish me luck. So, the only color that I have mixed up right now is black. And the reason for that is because this is a geode, and I do not know how much I need of each color. So, I'm going to mix it as I go. Now, a lot of this is going to be, as I said, well, it's all going to be black and gold. But it's not going to be just pigment. Some of the gold will come from glitter, and I will show you each one as I go. Some will be some seed beads I have that I want to use. I have some gold leaf, so it's going to be a mixture. But the first thing I want to do is get some glitter sitting in some resin to get it to thicken up for me. So I have a little cup of resin here, and the first one I want to mix up is going to be Laura's Art Corner, and the color is Coal Black. So there's that one. It's really pretty. So we're going to do that one, and I'm going to do the Fairy Dust Gold by Laura's Art Corner. This is a really fine graded glass glitter. Beautiful. And then I also want to mix up some of the 24 karat, which I bought extra of this, so it's just in a bag, but that's the Super Shard. So I want to get those sitting in some resin before I start, because I want it to have a chance to thicken up. So for the Coal Black, let's see. I have a half of a Dixie cup of resin here, and I'm going to put in quite a bit. Now this is a heavier glitter, so it will sink when you put it in your piece. You have to remember that because it's heavy. So if you want it to float on top, you have to use it in an area where it's just by itself, or you need to let the resin cure overnight and then add this in an area. That is my thought anyway. That's how I get it to shine the best. You could also sprinkle it over a rock section, and I'm just going to use the rest of this because there's not much left there. You could sprinkle it over your rock section, which I may do. So all different things you could do with it. The one thing I don't want is a piece of gold in there, though, which I just found. So get rid of that. I want to try to keep my colors as separate as possible. So now I'm going to mix up some of the fairy dust. Also, if you use glitter in colored resin, you're not going to see it. Unless it's like an iridescent glitter. So let's say you have black resin and you sprinkle in a heavy black resin, heavy black glitter like the one I just showed you. It's going to sink to the bottom. You're not going to see it. Let's say you have blue and you add in a black heavy glitter like that. You're not going to see it. Even this fine, unless you let it thicken up a little bit to where it stays on top, it's going to blend in with the colors. I see some people will mix up some resin and add glitter to it and then wonder why their color isn't sparkling. And that's just, it sinks or it gets lost in the pigments and there's nothing there. So I like to design my painting. And then if I have to use glitter, wait for it to cure, or wait for the resin that has the glitter in it to thicken up. So I'm just adding a little more clear here to my black, and then we're going to be good to go. Okay, here we go. So I want some black up against this gold. And I can already tell that the cup is too big for me to control where it goes. So I'm transferring a little bit into this cup here. And I'm just going to pour nice and easy next to the barriers. Now remember, resin spreads, so whatever size line you pour out, it's going to double in width. And I do have tape on my piece for now, but I will be removing that. I'm just have it on there to stop the resin from going off the board for now. But what I will do is wait about an hour and then peel the tape off and let the resin go over the sides. Now it will not go over the sides evenly, it'll drip over. So at that point I will take my hand and just run it along the outer edge to smooth it. And I realize this looks a little streaky and crappy, but it doesn't matter, as you can see, because I'm putting black resin down. Tell you, I really love these barriers that I made. I was talking to one of my subscribers last night, and I am a huge history buff, and I love the ancient Egyptian era. And she said, you know, it looks like that. And I said, you know what, you're absolutely right. Something that they would have. So just going slow here so I don't make any mess. I'm just going to spread that out. Let that spread out, I mean, on its own. Yeah, I'll just stick that right there. Just need to fill these all in. I was going to do something different, but now I just changed my mind again. And this is how it goes. Okay. Yep. Drifted on my barrier. I didn't want that. We'll get that in a second. First, I need to get a little more black here. Okay, so I'm going to pause you guys for a second, add some more, make some more black, and fill in the rest of my black areas and get this to spread out, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I have my black all on and spread out. Now I want to take that first glitter I mixed up, the Laura's Art Corner Coal Black, and that one I want to use right in this section here with the that's bare still. So let's see if I can do this carefully. Just gonna plop some of it in there and then spread it out with the stick. Now the only thing I'm going to use in this that is not black or gold is going to be a little tiny bit of diamond dust, just to make it really bling when a light hits it. It looks like I got a piece of gold in there. Maybe I will add some gold to that. I'll just sprinkle it on top. That might look kind of cool, actually. Some of the bigger gold glitter, since there's a few pieces in there anyway. I will warn you, when using glitter of any kind, when you pull this stick out and you kind of wipe it off like this, glitter tends to drip down the cup. So just be careful of that, because it'll drip somewhere where you don't want it. I've had that happen countless times to me. All right, there we go with that section. Looking beautiful. So now I have a little bit more here, but I'm gonna still let it sit for a few more minutes while I add in my rocks in the center, which these were clear vase fillers from Michael's that I dyed with alcohol ink. Black alcohol ink. You just squirt some in the cup. I have a video a while back on this. Squirt some in the cup and mix them around. Put them on a paper towel or a paper plate, and you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to fill in these two areas here with my rocks, and then I'll be back for the next step. Okay, so I have that in there. Now what I'm going to add in the center also is a little bit of the diamond. Well, first, actually, this is glitter from Michael's, just a cheapo black sparkly glitter. I'm going to add some of that into that center. Very easily. Okay. Then I'm going to add in some of the 24K, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Some of the 24K in where that black glitter is. So very sparsely. Oh crap, where did that fall? Hopefully it went under. Just a little bit here and there, just to bring it together. I still have to fill in that spot. I missed that spot. I hate doing glitter with gloves on. And that's it. You don't need a lot. You need to fill in this one little area here with some glitter. Somehow I missed that. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to take my clear glitter that I had mixed up, not clear, my fairy dust glitter that I had mixed up, and I want to try to do a little line work here somewhere, but I think it's still a little too fluid. So let me mix up some golds. I could do some golds. Okay, the first one up is liquid leaf that I poured directly into the resin. I used probably 1/4 teaspoon for 1/4 ounce of resin. When I'm going to be using something like this, doing something like this and using some, using the resin really quick, I don't tend to care about 10% or any of that. So I think I'm going to, let's see what we could do here. I'm going to go right up against this other gold. know it's a lot of gold, but we'll see what happens. Still a lot of work to do. And now right on top of that, hopefully going to be able to put this fairy dust glitter. Hopefully. See, it's nice and thick, so you're able to control it a lot better. I'm hoping the clear in that will help make some kind of magic here. See how it stays in a nice line? It doesn't plop. It's because I allowed it to sit and get a little bit thicker. I think I said that already, but tend to repeat myself a lot. Okay, now what I'm looking for is some of the black. I'm actually going to transfer this into a paper cup so I could control it better. Because I want to go down the center of those and kind of break them apart, if that makes sense. Even a little bit. And the black is nice and thick too now. So again, easy to control. But it's at like its happy spot right now. In about 2.5 seconds, it's going to hate me and be very thick. So very thick and unworkable, I should say. So you only have a few minutes when it gets to this stage to be able to control it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch this cup nice and tight, because that'll make the opening smaller and the line of resin that comes out smaller. I'm going to aim for right down the center. Okay, over here. And then over here. And I'm just going to back over this one because I'm just going to use it up. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take my fairy dust glitter and I'm going to do a thin line of it. Hopefully, I'm hoping I have enough. Let me add a little more clear to it. I just want to go around this area here with it. As soon as I added that clear resin to this cup, it started heating up really fast. Forgot these two are really close. Okay. And then I'm going to see what happens when I pour a little. Well, I have to put some clear in here. Forgot about that. Just covering the rocks with it. That's going to glue them down nicely. They're not going to go anywhere. Just like cover the surface of the rocks. It'll seep down and you'll be good. Whoa. The hell was that, Tammy? Yeah, this is getting really hot now. Let's see. I need to make some more black. I need more black. But this is not going to work because it's starting to get really nasty. Let me mix some gold alcohol ink into it and see what happens because I need that too. Sometimes the alcohol would have helped if I used the right alcohol ink. Sometimes the alcohol will thin it out. So, well, I don't know, this one may be too far gone. The alcohol inks, I don't measure how much I put in. I just put a couple of squirts in, and it is what it is. Thinned it out a little bit. But the reason why I did that was I wanted to put some in this area with the liquid leaf to see if there was any kind of a reaction. So I'm just going to get it on in there before it's too late. And then I'm going to pause you guys and mix up a little more black. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, let's see. Well, first, I have a little bit of this glitter left here. And I'm thinking about maybe just adding a little bit in the inner area here. So let me see how hard it is to control. These areas on my board are not that deep, so I'm hoping, because this is so big, that you'll see it. But maybe not. We'll see. We could also do some, no, maybe not. I don't know if it'll come out easy enough. Let's see. Thinking about it, I swear. Here it is. And that's not going to work. It's too thick. Too thick, too big. I'm going to finish off what I was doing because it will look stupid if I don't. And I got it in there pretty good. It's just wasn't moving the way I needed it to. And same thing over here. So what I'm going to do is pause you and mix up a little more black because I'm not leaving those stripes like that. It's just too much, too busy. But I am going to try to get them to spread out a little bit more with some more black. So this doesn't look half bad though. Just up against the border like that. I'm sure it'll shimmer like crazy when it's cured. Whoa, we didn't want that. Didn't want that. Try to bury it underneath. So typical of me. Just bury it. That's how I deal with everything in life. Ah, screw it. All right, here we go. All done. Okay, let me mix up some more black and some clear for the gold leaf, and I'll be right back. Actually, guys, before I do that, I want to use the heat gun on it to see what I can get out of this area with the gold. I may be missing an opportunity for something fabulous, so that's why I want to do that. Guess I need to pop the air bubbles anyway. Kind of manipulating it a little bit here. Woo, smoking resin. Too long in that area, guys. Plus it's starting to set up, so the longer you stay in the area with the heat gun, the more chance of you burning your resin like that. Well, I didn't burn it, it just got a little too hot. If it would just move for me, I wouldn't be smoking it. Just trying to push it outward a little bit, the gold. Oh, that was the tape smoking. I wonder if that was the tape all along. Okay. So, yeah. Not really. I don't know. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is get a little more black and take it from there. Okay, guys, I mixed up some more black. I blew my colors around a little bit here. They've shifted. My table is unleveled, but when it comes to something like this, I don't mind it because it actually does some cool stuff. So it's too much gold though. So what I'm thinking about doing, and I don't know if this is going to work, is pouring in some round black circles to break that up a little bit and kind of maybe help shape it a little bit. But see, the problem is that this resin that's on the canvas already is curing. So let's see how it works in the end. It's all about experimentation. And uniqueness. Just trying to break it up a little bit, that's all. So same thing here. I am going to have to heat it, unfortunately, to try to get it to loosen up a little bit. Hopefully I don't, burn it any further. There's no marks. I shouldn't say it's burnt. There are no marks from what I was doing, and I think it may have even been the tape, but my resin could have been smoking. I do it once in a while here and there. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So now, let's see. Here. 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 And that there, this here, I kind of like this area, but gotta keep it going. All right, so let's just leave it, see what it does. And then what I have to do, what I want to do, not what I have to do, is shave all my cats. What I want to do next is I want to mix up some gold leaf, some actual gold leaf. Do I want to do that? I was thinking about putting gold leaf in here in these circles and some clear, but wondering now. Oh, why not? It's gaudy. It's gaudy to begin with. Why not? So I'm just over to the side here because I've run out of room. I'm just putting some clear resin in a cup along with some gold leaf flakes. But I have to be very careful opening because they fly everywhere. That's what it looks like in the resin, just all bunched up. That gold is a lot brighter though. Ooh. Oh, why not? Why not, she says. Let's see. Let's try it right here. Let's see what happens. Don't want it everywhere, just in some certain ones. So geodes have patterns in their rocks. Now, granted, you will never see a geode like this in nature. But you kind of try to mimic a little bit. So I'm just letting it drip off into somewhat of a circle. As you can see, this one's going to be a nice big one over here. Okay. Maybe add a little more black right here so that I can do another tiny one of these. Definitely need something over here. This is too bare. Okay. Just random. And then up next, I'm just going to be putting some more rocks. I'm not going to make you watch that. in these areas here, this area and this area here. I'm going to put some diamond dust in the center here to help it pop a little more. Be careful when you're sprinkling this stuff. It is a glass-like substance and it will penetrate skin. Just kind of let it, hold it between your fingers and kind of gently release it a little bit at a time. Try not to do the typical sprinkling motion that we are used to doing. You know, this, whatever that's called. I call that treat time, nip nip for my cats. All right, so I'm going to add that. Then I have here some little black balls that I'm just going to sprinkle in the rock areas. And we're going to see if we like it when it's done. So when I come back, you will get a close-up of that. You guys are going to laugh. I've decided to do something more. Now, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to take some clear, pour it right in the center of that doodah. And then I'm going to take some black and put it right in the center of the clear doodah. Let's see what it does. Oh, it's doing something funky. I'm liking that. See, this is why we experiment. It's spreading out through gold leaf. So now what I'm going to do is take some clear. And I'm going to add some liquid leaf, a little bit, to that. And I just want to see what happens. Oh, this stuff smells so good. I swear I could eat it, this liquid leaf. All right. Just a little drip. Let's see what happens. So I mixed it into the resin. I want to see if something crazy happens. It's kind of like breaking it up. Adding a little bit more. Yeah, it's doing some kind of a, wow, that's pretty cool. It's branching out along all the gold leaf. So let me do that to each one, and then I'm going to take you in for the close-up. Okay, so this is the end of part one. I'm going to let it sit overnight and come back with part two. We will either have a finished geode or we will go for round two. We won't have a finished geode. I still have to take care of the sides and stuff like that. But as for the design, all it would need is a top coat if I enjoy the way it comes out. And I really love the movement in this gold. Just the way it's flowing. And that's, again, because my table is off. So it is pulling. And I just really, really love it. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you come back for part two. As always, guys, if you haven't already, would you please subscribe, click the like button, comment, share, and happy pouring.